You're welcome to the program. The Ghana Standards Authority is planning to phase out the use of Olonka as a measuring tool on the market. It follows bouts of concerns by consumers over being shortchanged by traders. But how feasible can this be? Well, Joy Business Stella J. Jom Sogli visited the market and now reports in this special feature.
Standards have been a major issue when it comes to the informal sector in Ghana. Most grains on the market are taken with the popular Olonka, or margarine tin as it is called. In 2010, there were calls for the revision of the age-old conundrum of getting standardized scales to function in Ghanaian markets. Recently, the Ghana Standards Authority revealed that plans are being put in place to ensure that the market is filtered in order for a common measuring tool to dominate in most sectors. Director General of the Ghana Standards Authority, Professor Alex Dodu, made these revelations.
Now, our standard development should be demand-driven. Let industry pay for what they need so that they can use it. I mean, we have standards for plantain chips. People are not using it. They must use it. And the standards are good. In fact, if you prepare plantain chips according to GSA standards, trust me, you every day eat your plantain chips.
Interesting on the one. So if its standards are demand-driven, they should pay. What does it mean? That means that going for industries are supposed to be paying for the standards that will be set. Why?
They have to pay to develop it.
Patenting or what?
No, what we are saying is that, okay, you want to say that if you want to sell kenke in Ghana, it should be 1 kilogram. So far, the kenke we have in Ghana is 400 grams. And this is a problem because sometimes they
have you set standards for kenke in Ghana?
We need to set standards for kenke in Ghana.
What is delaying the authority?
Well, what is delaying the authority is that we are dealing with an informal sector who do not or who does not have skills. And I know that is something you will roast me on, and I stand roasted because that's the truth. We don't have the skills.
What is stopping the authority? I'm saying, what is stopping you from doing that? I still believe that the Olonka is still being used on the market.
It's a problem. It's a problem for our economy. It's a problem for our digitization and for our formalization. It's leading to farmers being cheated. Has the authority lived up to what it should have done?
Yes.
My answer is that to the extent that the market is not formalized, we haven't lived up to our mandate in that respect. But much as there are reasons, that is not an excuse. What have we done now? We've said, look, market women, talk to us. And I'm glad that they are now pushing us. The start of any standardization exercise is voluntarism. Because when you push the market too hard, people resist. When they resist, it will fail. We are dealing with people who are at the lower end of the scale. Now they have understood. We've had chiefs from various jurisdictions.
Unlike Ghana, where anything called Olonka is assumed to be equivalent to a kilo is a kilo at most places in West Africa. One challenge with this mode of measurement is the various manipulations of the objects that exist on the market. Some of the tins have already been stuffed with papers, whilst others have been punched upward to reduce the quantity of produce they can take.
I'm here at the Kaneshi market to engage some sellers on whether it is something that is laudable, it's something that they are going to accept, and it's something that will help them in their businesses.
Because auto emiolonka na okonya bi woso say scale.
They will not agree because when they buy with the Olonka, they get some profit. But if they are going to use the scale, they'll prefer to buy the whole bag themselves.
Right now, the rice that comes in the pack is not up to the usual 50 kg. It is sometimes 45 kg. So the wholesale price is not the same price you will sell it for. You will measure the Olonka and the margarine tin with your own discretion so that you can make profits. So if you are asking us to use weighing scales, we cannot measure. You didn't give us the money to trade with.
Kilo nuba machine base yen fire juma dabi enyamu na mudi sika numa ye di koto ye ya na di ye sika koto enya ba nti media me to me yes asa obi be ya ni sa de well media mean to me ye Perfume rice, no.
1 olonka of perfumed rice is 20 cedis, and this is 3 cedis 50 pesos. Broken rice is 3 cedis, wache 3 cedis. We cannot use the machine. Personally, I won't use the scale.
Kilo no, media minimum, na mi fa kilo ya juma machine. Ya nchira ya machine, nesasia muba chira ya machine ya media mi ye.
As for the scale, it is not good because if someone asks for an addition, how will you do that when you are using a scale? Some of us are not educated, so we can't use the scale. How will I know I have hit my target? And what if the buyer is educated and decides to cheat me?
For some traders, they lack proper education to be able to maneuver their way around a standard weighing scale. Aside sellers of cereals and grains, some tomato sellers use the olonka as a measure for their items. Ekia Mansa, a tomato seller, narrates the processes involved in cutting her produce to the market, which is why she thinks a standardized scale may not be an effective tool for her business.
The basket way and a susu digum. First, in yet me 6, ye 7. Says ye and your cofa. Where ye 5. First, where
at first, we could get at least 6 baskets from a box of tomatoes. But now, the maximum you can get is 5. Let's say a box is 300 cedis. And a basket is 50 cedis. When I get 6 or 7 baskets, I can make profits.
50 Ghana and a makofa. It's 50 Ghana no. Na me 6 ah. Say I 3 million. Ti se bia nke se nyame boa me. Na me 7 na. 7 no me dey baako. Ti se me ton na se nyame ye madom. Na bia ansai wo mu a. E na bia 6 na me yi na me di tis ke dua no. E bia kakra baba beda baako we so. Baako na beda echire no. Beba bedaso be sesia no omo hihye we no mo dugu adaka ni tu kofa na wo be yi a wanya de eden afọ na wanya ebia mboboye kakra akomi kakra.
But now, because of the way they measure, you can get just about 4 baskets from the box and some rotten ones. So after sorting out the good ones from the bad ones, I have to throw the rotten ones away. And that becomes my loss.
May you the air chakani free. We weird in fear when you dear melanin in a free matu. Na car community, Yamatu Gunina, I am a cat. It's a meaning side where I chaka way may ye free, my friend, and my baby, Michel Gentinami. We are boost you to some boost you, yes, but about Unina, may you the air chakani and apple bowling.
So if you ask us to use the scale after all these things have happened, I'll run at a loss. Right,
so there you have it. According to most of them, this is not a move that they are going to accept quickly. This is not something that they think will be an improvement to their businesses. Some of them claim that if consumers are going to accept, then, well, they might as well just go with it. Some also say that they need more education to be able to use the measurements that the scale is going to come with. My name is Stella Sogli-Jejom for Joy Business.
You're still watching The Marketplace. Let's now continue with one of our major stories. According to the VPN provider Surfshark 2021 Digital Quality of Life Index, Ghanaians have to work almost 21 hours to afford the cheapest broadband internet package. That's 3.5 more than the global average. Now, the country was ranked 89th out of the 110 countries on the pillars of digital life, internet affordability and quality, e-infrastructure, e-security and e-government. Let's break down the information regionally because Ghana ranks second in West Africa, surpassing Senegal, Mali and Cote d'Ivoire. Nigeria ranks first in the region, but Ghana outperforms the country in internet affordability and e-government. Of course, Ghana has the strongest e-government in West Africa. However, it is still 20% worse than the global average. In fact, if you go down to the details, we also understand that Ghana ranks on the lower end of the Internet Affordability Index. It ranked 106th. People have to work almost 21 hours, you may have known already, to afford the cheapest broadband internet package. That's 3.5 hours more than the global average. There's room for improvement in internet quality as it comes only at 99th place. Mobile internet speed is also stable in areas of low-ranking members of this particular criteria. Well, let's bring in researcher with the tech company Agnieszka Skłabowska for more on this particular research. Agnieszka, we're so grateful that you could join us. What sources were used in gathering the data?
Hi, so I'm grateful to be here. Let me start from that. And we gather sources from reputable global data sources such as United Nations Division Statistics, Oxford Insights, Worldmeter, the Cable CO, and many more. And the full scope of data sources can be checked at our website and methodology tab.
And what was the sample size?
The sample size was 110 countries. So we started the study in 2019. And since then, we grew from 65 countries to 110, which actually accounts for 90% of global population, or 6.9 billion people. So we say that it is a very global study.
But of course, these are very interesting statistics. Help us understand the Ghana situation proper.
So as you mentioned before, Ghana ranks 89th in the world. You actually joined only this year, which we're very happy that finally we managed to collect data for your country too. Regionally, you rank second. So in Western Africa, you surpass Senegal, Mali, and Ivory Coast. Nigeria comes first, but only when we speak about overall digital well-being. Ghana surpasses Nigeria in the terms of internet affordability and electronic government, as well as broadband speed, which is actually almost 4 times higher than in Nigeria. And talking about global scale, you rank 106 in the internet affordability pillar. And as you said, unfortunately, people have to work on average, 21 hours per month to afford cheapest broadband internet package. And it is much, much higher than the global average. And since the beginning of pandemic, there is an increase in mobile speed. It improved by 20%, and broadband internet speed improved by 50%. But still, you lack some stability in mobile speed connectivity. This is why Ghana ranks only 99th in internet quality pillar.
So it means we have a long way to go. But what does the ranking say about the availability of internet to all Ghanaians, especially those in the rural zones?
So we cannot speak about urban areas and rural areas separately. We can speak about Ghana as a country. So according to Internet World Statistics, there is only around half of the population that has internet access in Ghana. However, there is a very steep growth in the internet usage. So for example, 5 years ago, according to the same statistics, only 20% of population had internet access, and now it's already 50%, right? So we believe that in 5 years, Ghana has very good potential to reach global average of 75% in internet usage.
Let's now delve to specifics and solutions. What can be done to improve these numbers so that we could be in the best of shape in the next index?
So the country has room for improvement in all of 5 pillars, but especially in electronic infrastructure, internet quality, and affordability. So all the mentioned areas, they are interconnected. So making improvement in one of the areas should have positive impact in another area as well. So for example, providing internet access to more people could lower the cost of internet provider, like fixed cost for internet provider, which would allow them to make internet cheaper for people too. Or new players, new internet providers in the market could increase the competition, thus driving the price down and maybe, hopefully, internet quality up. But to improve internet quality, some investment is needed into infrastructure, such as switching from copper cables to fiber optics and installing more mobile internet towers.
Great there. And of course, we shall be having more discussion on this particular index and what it actually means to our communications infrastructure here in Ghana. Agneska, we're so grateful that you could join us, researcher with the tech company that embarked on this particular research that shows that Ghanaians would have to work 21 hours to afford, internet access on their phones, their laptops, wherever they find themselves. But let's still stay with matters regarding communications, because the sector minister, Esla Okofo, has just told Joy Business that the calls for inclusion of the national passport and other forms of identification for the ongoing SIM card re-registration is being looked at. According to her, the new law under which the exercise is being undertaken specifies the kind of identification to be used. But the ministry is engaging stakeholders on the matter. Since the beginning of the exercise last week, there have been calls for governments to include other forms of identification as requirement for the SIM card re-registration. As Laosu Okofo says, the outcome of discussions will be soon made known to the public.
I do have some numbers, but it's still ongoing and it is going well. A few challenges have already been noticed and they're working as a sector to address them. Some of them being, what happens to Ghanaians who have SIM cards but who will not be in the country during that period. So they're working to see how the SIM registration app can be utilized for that purpose. There's also been some talk about the use of passports. Our reading of the law makes it mandatory for the national Ghana card to be the sole card used for verification of identity. So it puts us in a bit of a bind, but let's see how it goes. So if you don't have a Ghana card, just get one.
In the marketplace, of course, Boss to embark on reshuffle following full adulteration incident. We saw 1 arrested and 9 vehicles impounded. We have details on this after this break. Do stay with us.
We are trying to transfer our staff across our depots. You know, when you stay in one place for a long time, you get too comfortable. And so these are some of the internal decisions we'll be taking in the near future.
And you're welcome back. Now, the bulk oil storage and transport company, Boss, says it will reshuffle its workers as part of measures to curb incidents of adulteration. A driver and 9 vehicles have been impounded in connection with fuel adulteration at the Kumasi depot. 8 other drivers are still at large. Management say the police are currently investigating circumstances leading to the incident. Here is the managing director of Boss, Edwin Provincial.
Normally, in our operations, when the drivers come into our terminal to load, we test the products and we load them. Then, the moment they leave our facility, the responsibility of the product is transferred from Boss to the transport owner, who has to ensure that the product gets to its destination safely. They are paid for the transportation. The moment the product gets into Boss, Kumasi, it is transferred to us again. So we believe strongly and I'm sure the investigations will reveal it as well, that the adulteration happened when we handed over the product to the transport owner, who is represented by the driver. Because the cars are also sealed by NPA. And any time there is a tampering of the seal, NPA gets a notification. So between the regulator and the transport owner, they take responsibility, and the regulator monitors, the transport owner takes responsibility till the final destination. So this was done outside, bust. That is why when it got here and we tested it again, we saw that no, this product was of a different density, and so something had been done. We also realized that the color of the product had changed, and that is what prompted, that raised the alarm and got our people to call in the authorities to bring us where we are today. The products have been impounded, and all the night trucks are in one location. The police have come to see them, NPA have come to see them, and so yes, the products haven't found their way onto the market. So the public should be rest assured. We are enhancing the SOPs. What we are also trying to do is we are trying to transfer our staff across our depots. You know, when you stay in one place for a long time, you get too comfortable. And so these are some of the internal decisions we'll be taking in the near future, where our staff will be moved across our depots and then strengthening the processes as well.
Now, there are calls for Ghana and other African countries to consolidate their economic gains to attract huge investment from the diaspora. Now, take a listen to the Secretary General of the Africa Private Sector Summit, Nelson Godfred Ajimam, teased a summit by the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry to deal with this issue.
Our objective, or our overarching goal at the end, that we will be able to identify key actions that will be used to formulate an end of summit action plan, and also, if you like, projects that will be implemented after the summit. The reason is that we don't want our summits. What is unique about APSS as a think tank and a facilitator of the private sector in Africa is that we seek to provide action-oriented summit, not the usual talk shop. We want summit whose conclusions are implemented. And therefore, we have identified that to do that, once you bring the stakeholders around, there is a need for them to work within the summit period to provide action plans and projects that are solutions addressing the challenges we have identified, in order that we all go back to our respective places as sectors and subsectors, focusing on implementation of those action plans and projects, and report, since these are series of seminars, and report on the progress we have made in implementation in the subsequent summit. And as you may know, ladies and gentlemen of the press and the public, the third series will be in Rwanda sometime in 2022. And it is supposed to be a review summit, a kind of a monitoring and evaluation summit.
And we'll see how that goes. But that's how we end this edition of The Marketplace. My name is Charles Aite. For more news, log on to myjohnline.com. Many thanks once again for watching. Enjoy the rest of our programs.